person has shot 2 bailiffs. They're both deceased, and shot a deputy sheriff who is at the hospital right now being treated in the emergency room.
Tragedy inside a West Michigan courthouse after an inmate somehow got a gun and opened fire. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Susan Shaw.
And I'm Marley Ginter. We have been bringing you live updates on air and on woodtv.com since this news broke. Here's the very latest. We do know that 2 Berrien County Court bailiffs have been killed. The shooter, an inmate, is also dead. A deputy and civilian were also hurt. They are in the hospital. They are both expected to survive.
The Berrien County Courthouse is in downtown St. Joseph. We have multiple crews there right now, starting with 24-hour News 8's Heather Walker, who has been in contact with multiple police agencies about this. Heather?
Yeah, the shooting is over, but you can see this scene very active still. I'm going to get out of the way so you can take a look behind me. That's the courthouse there. You can see it's still blocked off by crime scene tape. Lots of officers out here, state police, the sheriff's department, even tribal police, everyone out here, all agencies. And slowly but surely, people who were inside that courthouse when the fatal shootings occurred, they have been let out and reunited with family. There's been lots of hugs with law enforcement officers because, of course, 2 of the bailiffs were killed during this shooting, and 1 deputy injured. We're told that deputy is in the hospital in stable condition, along with 1 civilian as well. So let's break this down here. It all happened around 2:30 today inside the Berrien County Courthouse. We are told on the 3rd floor, that's where the shooting occurred. We know 3 as a result, including the shooter, who was an inmate, and 2 bailiffs. We are told the others who were injured, a deputy with the sheriff's department, the Berrien County Sheriff's Department, as well as a civilian. And this is a very close-knit legal and law enforcement community. I spoke to the lawyers who work just right next to both the sheriff's department and the courthouse here. They knew both of those deputies very well. So it's really hitting this community very hard. Right now, we still don't know how that shooter got the gun and the circumstances surrounding that. We're also trying to learn more about the victims here, the deputies, as well as the shooter, why they were in court, what the circumstances were with that. We are continuing to cover this. There's going to be a live presser coming up at 6 o'clock. We're going to have that live for you. First, I want to take you to some sound that we heard from the lawyer who was next door to this courthouse.
They cordoned off the intersection and told us to shelter in place, pull down our shades, and we actually have a vault in our office, so we went into there because it would be harder for any stray bullets to pierce. And then the officers who were in full tactical gear, military gear, were rushing towards the courthouse, and they were sending them to the 3rd floor.
This community is still shaken. Again, we're going to get an update on information, hopefully learn the circumstances surrounding this shooting coming up at 6 o'clock. Reporting live in St. Joseph and Berrien County, Heather Walker, 24-hour News 8.
Now, Heather, I do know that we're working to learn a lot more information about the inmate apparently involved in this shooting. But have you been able to talk with authorities about the process that's involved in getting inmates into the courtroom? Who is involved in doing that? How many people of authority are there to keep these inmates contained while they go to court? Anything that you've been able to learn about that?
None of that information has been released yet. As you can see, it's very active. Law enforcement still just trying to make sure that they can release everyone still in the courthouse, which is on lockdown, as well as the sheriff's department also remains on lockdown. So although this started at 2:30, it is still ongoing.
Okay, still so many questions to be asked here. Heather Walker, thank you for that live report.
It's just for a second.
Now let's go to 24-hour News 8's Sarah Hurwitz. She's standing by with a man waiting to meet up with loved ones inside the courthouse. Sarah?
Yeah, so we are here outside on the other side, the west side of the Berrien County Courthouse. We have seen several people coming out of the entrance here. A lot of hugs, a lot of tears, like Heather also mentioned. A lot of people with a lot of questions right now. Family members wondering if their loved ones are okay. I'm here with Vernon. He's been waiting for his son who was inside. You told me that you had dropped him off to go inside and then just kind of walk me through the story from there.
Yeah, he had an appointment at 2 o'clock, has some business to take care of, and so I'm waiting for him. It's been over 3 hours now, and about 2:30, a killer guy ran by the vehicle and said, "You better wake up in there, there's been shooting in the courthouse." I said, "What?" And I got out, and about 2 cars down, there was a young lady standing there crying. And I said, well, what's the matter? What happened? She said she's in a courtroom, and a gentleman stood up, and they shot him. So what were they shooting for? I didn't see no weapon. I said, well, I don't know. And that's when, but she was upset and she was crying. That's what she said. So.
Have you heard anything from your son at this point?
No, no cell phones are in there. So.
What's going through your mind right now?
Well, I'm concerned because it's been a while and you haven't really heard anything. And where he was going, he should have been all right, but who knows?
How do you feel? I mean, all of these things that have happened across the country, violence in the last several weeks, now it's hitting close to home.
It's hard to get your mindset for stuff like that, especially when it's close to home. Officers getting, killed here and there, and it's a shame that people don't realize what's going on and get together and do something. It's a shame.
Well, we certainly hope that your son is okay and that there are several other people, like I mentioned, who are waiting to hear back from their loved ones. There was another girl who was sitting here on the sidewalk, visibly in anguish, in tears, and she said that she hadn't heard from her mom. So we will be working to learn more about the people who are inside, and we are told that some people have been trickling out. We haven't seen a huge crowd of people who have been walking out at this point, but we will stay on top of that. For now, reporting live in Berrien County, Sarah Hurwitz, 24-Hour News 8.
Sarah, we can only imagine how disconcerting that is for them waiting for their loved ones. Have you seen authorities come over and try to brief any of the people out there waiting?
At this point, I haven't seen any officers who have been giving any information to family members. What I have been told is that they will be waiting a long time. But I have also seen some hugs from law enforcement to people who were coming out of that building who said that they were inside at the time.
Sure, with such a tight-knit community, information is spreading quickly. Sarah, thank you for that live report.
We are also getting reaction into our newsroom to this shooting. Political reporter Rick Albin continues our team coverage now. Rick?
We're getting reaction from some of the lawmakers that represent the area, as well as the governor. Congressman Fred Upton has represented that area for decades. It's his hometown, and upon learning of another senseless shooting involving law enforcement, he had this to say: "What occurred today in my hometown breaks my heart. My thoughts are with our entire community, our friends and neighbors. This tragic event reminds us all too well that our law enforcement officers have their lives on the line every day, not knowing what that day will bring. We have lost two very able public servants," he continues, "and we all grieve for them and their families as we learn more about this horrific situation. One thing is clear: we must do better to prevent these types of tragedies from occurring." And Governor Rick Snyder also weighed in, saying, "Please join me in praying for those affected. We will share more information here from the MSP as it becomes available." Now, this latest shooting comes during a week where we have seen shootings in a whole spate of violence, from Louisiana to Minnesota to Texas, now here to Michigan. It leaves lawmakers and the public trying to make sense of this and come up with some answers and ways to curb the violence.
Our crews are continuing to work this senseless tragedy. We'll take you back live to St. Joe at 5:30 or sooner, of course, if developments warrant. We'll also carry the next police news conference live coming up at 6 o'clock.